basically chill and sleep. And it's like the Holy Spirit began to speak to me, literally, place something in my mind. Because I was thinking about a conversation that I had earlier with a friend, and I was telling them, I was like, like they was, I was telling them like things about like this apartment, like how like it was a freaking something up there, like a raccoon, a skunk, something scratching through the ceiling, like purposely. I moved this way, it'll follow me. I went in the bathroom, it went in the bathroom ceiling, like scratching, and then it's like roaches. And I was telling them, I was like, I was like he was like telling me, he was like, you can go to the store, get a BB gun, shoot it right up there, and I bet you it'll go away, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like I shouldn't even have to do all of that. Like I should be able to live in a place where I don't have to do that. Where I don't have to worry about roaches. Where I don't have to worry about something crawling in between the walls or the freaking ceiling. Like like a odor coming from another apartment. Like excuse me, sorry. God rest his soul. But yeah, like I should be able to like stay somewhere where I'm comfortable. And it's like I was sitting here thinking, like I said to him, I was like, when I was talking to him, I was like, I feel like I shouldn't have to. And then I told him, I was like, and I don't want to like sound like like I'm better, like bougie, or like I'm better than anybody. And then it's like I'm laying here now thinking about like the conversation when I said that, and I'm like, I don't even know why I said that, because like I knew I wasn't like trying to be uppity and all that other stuff. It's just like I'm tired. Like I'm tired of being like in the bottom of the barrels, basically. Like, and it's like I've tried to make the most of this. Not even tried. I have. I've been staying here for a year now. A year, and it's about to be a month soon on the February 1st. But or pretty much because technically when I signed my lease, so yeah, it's been a year and a month now that I've been staying in this apartment. So, and I remember when I first moved in, it was ice cold. It's ice cold now. Like, it's ice cold. That's why I'm like, this is a hoodie. I have to sleep in a hoodie and sweatpants because it's so cold in here. And the heat works in the living room. The heat works in the kitchen. Sometimes it'll turn on in the bathroom. Before, it never turned on. All of a sudden, it just turns on in the bathroom. And it would turn on in here every now and then, but like this all of a sudden it's just like it just stopped working. And it's like I'm sitting here like this is like preposterous. Like I deserve like way better than this. And it's not even just me. Like, and I'm like, we all deserve better, but it's like I gotta stop thinking about like everybody else, like how a person like dimming basically myself, or like dimming what I want to say, and all this other stuff, like people pleasing basically. Not necessarily with him, but I was like saying it like to not offend him, because he was like, like, well, like he was basically saying like, he's from, the hood, and it's like I've been in like raised by my like brother's grandmother when I was like, oh, I think I was like 7 years old when we moved with her, and that's when I like was fighting and all that stuff. But before that, I like I when I stayed in foster care, I lived at the time like I was like 6 years old, probably maybe 6 years old, and we went to like Southside Center and all this other stuff. But it was like I didn't really get out in the field when I was till I was like probably like 7 when I stayed with my brother grandmother or whatever. And I feel like no, I said not 7. Oh my goodness, I got it mixed up. I mean when I was like I was 8, not 7. I was 8. But well, no, actually, I got in a fight. But moral of the story is, I was sitting here thinking, cause I wasn't even thinking about that. That just came. I always get sidetracked. But I was thinking like, about like how I've made the most of this apartment, like staying here. And I was like thinking, I'm like, not even just this apartment. I made the most out of everywhere I stayed. Like if you know anybody that knows me, I grew up in foster care. Like from I was like let's say 4 years old. I was gonna say 3 years old, but I think I was like 4 when they had came and took me and my brothers away from my mom. And from there on out, we was in foster care. They gave us back when I was like, that's why I had to change it because I was like, no, around 7. That's when they gave us back to our mom, and then took us away again. And that's when we had my brother's grandmother had took us in, and I was like 7, turning 8, and all this because I had just turned 7. I had a 7th birthday, and we was no, yeah, because I had my 7th birthday in foster care, and then after that they gave us back to my mom. I had a birthday with her, and then that's when we moved in with my brother's grandmother. So I was like 8, and then I remember I turned 9 with her as well. I mean, not as well, but I turned 9 when I was staying with her. So basically, it was just like from there, like I was always staying with other people, having to follow under their rules, listen to what they wanted me to do as far as clean the house, wash the dishes, watch what you say, and not being able to sometimes be like, myself at times, like, you know, mainly like emotionally abuse and mental abuse. But it's like I made the most of it when I was me and my brother grandmother and my brother like and her fiance. We was his grandmother fiance at the time. We was staying on Dunbar. Like we had roaches in that place. We had roaches like I think in Hunter's Glen, like, and we had I had a friend that came over and we stayed on Dunbar, and it was like a whole stack of roaches like at the top of the cabinets, and she pointed it out, and I was so embarrassed. When we had moved from Hunter's Glen, people said that they cracked hit a wall, like they hit the wall with a hammer, and a whole bunch of roaches just came out. I remember when we was staying in Hunter's Glen, and I had a sleepover for my birthday when I turned 9, and it was a roach like almost about to crawl in of one of the girls' hair, and I was just like, oh my, oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm so okay. Yes, you see that she don't even gotta notice this, but like, I just felt like so embarrassed. Like, but I made the most of it. So it's like people think like they look at me and like they judge me and think like, oh, she's a pretty girl, like she's pretty girl privileged and all this other stuff. When I've been staying in the dang on churches since I was like I stayed in Carson Stout. Like my mom, before Dyke's came and took us away, we were staying in Carson Stout, and I got in a fight with. As my mom always tell this story that I got in a fight with 2 little boys because they was messing with my brother, and I picked up the stick and I started beating the little boys with the stick. Like, it's like, yeah, I've been like staying in the hood, but I made the most of it. And it's like I'm tired of it. Like, I don't get me wrong, I love, all the memories, all the people that I came across. And it's not even necessarily the hood itself, because it's just the neighborhood. The neighborhood just sits there. It's mainly the people, like the people who own this building. They know that this building is not up to par and up to date. And then there's other people that, oh my goodness, my body hurt. Like, my chest, like, just hurt right now. Like, I know, and it's crazy. And it's like, it's been feeling like this for a while, and I just been sitting here talking. And that just goes to show, like, I've been feeling pain, like, literally for so long. Like, and it's I hate to sound like the right way song, but I've been really feeling pain, like, for a while. Like, not even a while, for a long time. Since I was a dang toddler. Like, but you would never know it because I wear a smile on my face. This smile right here. People see it and they judge me for it. And it's like I'm sitting here, like, trying to, like, be like, oh, like, I feel bad for, like, saying, like, I want to go here and I want to go there, and there's people that could possibly hear me, and I don't want them to think, like, oh, because we stay in the same building, like, and I'm talking about moving out of this building because it's like, bad, and then, they want to stay in this building, they probably like, and it's like, I shouldn't feel like that because, like I said, I've been in it, and it's like, why live in a place like this when, hold on, excuse me, it's like, why force yourself to live somewhere that you don't have to live, basically? Like, if you have the ability, and that's like, I was also sitting here thinking, like, I could get a car. You could finance a car, put it on your credit, get a credit card. It'll help you with a lot of things. Just make sure you're up to date with your pay, and you don't gotta worry about a thing on thing at all. And it's like, I've been like saying, like, oh, I want to get a car. When I could easily get a car. Like I said, you can finance the car, but it's like the procrastination, the guilt of rolling up in a nice car in the hood, and it's like, I don't know why I feel like that when I know that I deserve it, because I've been dreaming about it since I was a kid. I've been asking God, praying for it since I was a kid, praying that God restores my family, praying that I get to receive the things that I was asking for, to receive the things that I couldn't see or believe that I would ever get or be able to get. It's like I made a it's like I have visions and I have desires, and they say that God would never place a desire in your heart that he wouldn't allow you to fulfill, that he wouldn't allow you to have. And it's like, I've had so many desires, mainly the same, never changed. Never changed. But the main one that I've always asked him for was a home, a house to call my own, a house that I could be comfortable in, peaceful environment with friendly neighbors, clean environment, somewhere like by the water where I could go visit the water, just be near the water. I like the water. I like the beach. I like being on the sand, looking at the sunset. Something about just sitting at the beach. I always said it like it's like a peek at God's heavenly kingdom. Like peaceful, beautiful, breathtaking. Like this way when me and my friend was playing a card game earlier and it was like and it was like describe what you see in the picture and I said I see mountains and it was like and describe like I said yeah describe it in like 3 descriptions. I said I see the mountains, I see the trees, and I see a place that looks like it's peaceful. I said a place that looks like it has peace. And then it said name a place that you I think always wanted to go, or no, not wanted to go, but that you go to that that you enjoy or like that brings you a sense of peace or something like that. And I said the beach, and it was like and described like what it looks like, the smell, what you hear, or what it sounds like, and yeah, the beach is peaceful for me. Like I just like can see it now when I the one time I had went in Cali, and I just wish that I could just have stayed there forever. Like like I did not want to leave at all, but we had to because we had to go get on our flight. But it was so peaceful. It was so peaceful. All I know is I'm just tired. It's like I've been strong for so long, and I'm only 23. That's the thing. I'm only 23, and I've been dealing with stuff since I was 3. It's 20 years. I got pain in my body that I feel, and it's like a shock. It's been going like that since like 2020. I don't know what's the cause of it. I don't know when it'll end. All I know is this is something that I feel like. I went to the doctors. They tell me all the time, you're fine. We don't see anything. Other than your herpes that a guy gave me. And it went away when I was on the doctor said me um fast basically is electric fast plant based. It went away and then he did say like in order to keep it away that you had to continue to eat healthy and all that stuff. So I came back one time. But yeah, I just know like I be questioning like or allowing other people's opinions to matter or dictate what I deserve. And it's like We really gotta get out of that. Like, and we gotta really tell ourselves, like, we know our story. They People around us may not know our story, know what we endured, know how long we've been asking, knowing how long we've been praying, how long we've been waiting. All right, how many times we got so close to our breakthrough and our win, and somebody came and snatched it away, caused our delay, caused mishaps, and all that stuff, and we still, you know, we still just kept like just took charge it to the game. Like seriously, so many times people done me wrong, and I just charged it to the game, took it to the chin, gave nothing but love in return. And like I said, I've been staying in so many houses, different houses, uncomfortable houses. When I came to Jersey, I thought it would finally be at peace, but I stayed with my aunt up here in Jersey. It wasn't, you know, peaceful, but it was, I made the most of that. Sometimes she would like be a little annoying when she would be yelling about certain stuff and all this, and I would have to be taking responsibility of my little cousin as far as like, having to be late for like cheer practice just to go get her, and then like go get her and bring her to cheer practice when it was other people that could have been like watching her, taking care of her. But it's like I took that in, I charged that to the game because I was like, you know what, I'ma just be a big cousin to her, and she enjoyed being around me anyway around that time. So she was basically my little mini me. I remember people I used to go out, people thought she was my daughter, and I'm like this, and I was like only 16, 17. I'm like, really? Like, one, I looked that old, and two, like, really? Like, yeah, I didn't even think like she was my like little sister, like my daughter, really. But yeah, it was some good times in there. We would always be singing, karaoke, playing around, all that stuff. But it wasn't my home, and I say it wasn't my home because I didn't have my own home. Because from there, I was living in shelters. My mom just came and took me out of there one day, and I remember my aunt was saying like she didn't want me to leave and all that stuff. But my mom wanted me to leave. Like she was like, "Give me my daughter. Like we're going to go to a shelter. Like I got approved for a shelter. Da da da." So yeah, from there we stayed in a shelter at the Y, in the Apostle House. Then after that, we got into like a back and forth, and she had packed her stuff and left. I stayed at the Y. From there, I got approved. I got a caseworker because at the time I was a minor. I was 17, so they called DIFUS. Um, Luckily, I guess, because I don't know where would I have been, and I know that that was God, and I thank God for that. I think Antoinette was the one who actually did that, and I still have her card that she gave me for my graduation, my high school graduation. I was just recently reading, but yeah, I know God been keeping me alive and having my back through a lot, and mainly with the people that was close to me or that I cared about and loved dearly. And yeah, I got approved to stay at the Volunteers of America. But I moved in because I had to be 18 in order to stay there, and I was 17. So I moved in like literally, I think on my birthday. Like I got my stuff, and I was supposed to have moved in on my birthday, but I think it was a little bit after, like a few days after that. Or no, I think it was I moved in the day of my birthday. Yeah, because I remember Miss Erica had to. Yeah, moved in the day of my birthday, and from there I stayed with the Volunteers of America for like that was like what 2019, the end of 2019. From there, I stayed in the Union. I stayed in like three different apartments in that in that Union area. Got into scuffles, fights with the roommates over petty stuff that could have been easily communicated. um, yeah, I remember that. It was like a lady. She got upset because our female. I got upset. I threw a little Cheerio in the trash, and from there she just tweaked. That was like probably the most pettiest argument that occurred in that my whole time there. But after that I moved it to the West New York one, Volunteers of America in 2021, like around February. And then I got kicked out of there because the roommate had snitched on me. And yeah, y'all, I don't know what the heck that was, but I just saw something like as if it was like a person, like face or like a shadow. I don't know what it was, but nah, I saw that joint clear as day. And I was over here falling asleep, but I'm up now. I don't know, but I'm gonna finish the story either way. I don't know what that was. God be the glory. Jesus, Yahshua, Lord, rebuke it. Cast every demon up out of here. We don't do that. Only the Holy Spirit up in this apartment. I mean that. But amen to that. Amen, amen, amen. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. But yeah, what happened with that? What I was saying. Yeah, Satan, go ahead, get up out of here. I command you to leave up out of this. I resist you. I command you to flee. I plead the blood. The blood. The blood of Yahshua. I rebuke that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what the shoot, I don't know what that was. I mean, I know what that was, but I don't know like who that was. If that was good or bad. But I don't want to. I don't want to see that. But yeah, what was I saying? I don't forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I got to stay after that. The girl stitched on me and all this other stuff, and because I had a guest in the apartment, and at the time they said we couldn't like have people there and all that. And I did, break the rules. I was smoking, and but it was odd because I never said two words to the girl other than like to tell her if she ever needed a job. Like I gave her a list of jobs that I had applied to that she could apply to as well. Cause I knew she was looking for a job and all that. And after that, that was about it. Mainly, that was it. But yeah, she was lying. She was like, I think she was cooking eggs, and this she was telling the director, she was like, she was cooking eggs, and this was like, she was like, and you know, like I'm the only one that have eggs in there. And when I was reading the messages in her phone or whatever, I was like, what? I took your eggs. I said, I went to the store and bought my own eggs. And like I don't know if she like knew that or like she just really was like just outwardly lying about everything or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Sis had it coming for me since the day she moved in. But yeah. So she got me kicked out because she was the one who snitched on me because she also said that I was playing loud music and there was no loud music playing in that apartment at all. It was just all a setup for the director to come to the apartment and see that I had guests in the apartment, and that was that. What else happened after that? Um, yeah, after that I had they told me I had 10 days to move out, and I told them like I was speaking out loud, like on the phone, like pretending like I was like I was really talking to God. I was like, look, if I don't find somewhere to go in 10 days, I'm gonna beat that girl up. I said I'm gonna beat her up. And it's funny because when I had to move out, she had called the director there because she thought I was gonna touch her. And it's funny because I wasn't really gonna touch her. I was like, cause I mean, God made a way. I got accepted to the covenant house and in the shelter, and I went there and stayed there a little while, 3 months. It was basically the entire summer because I moved in like June or like the end of May, like specifically probably like May 29th, I think. I moved over there, stayed there till September. So that's why I'm like literally like just I was out there for the summer working. Got robbed out there, got jumped, set up, um, got beat up. I say jumped because it was just like I was drunk and it was multiple people that was involved. It was that had set the thing up for me to have my items stolen and all that stuff. All the money I saved up was like $3,500 that I saved up from working um, at both two jobs, Showboat and Ocean Casino, as a front desk representative at Ocean Casino, and then just as an arcade person at Showboat. um, yeah, like I would do customer service, go through safety and all that stuff for the bumper car, no, for the racetrack, and then walk around the arcade, help with stuff, um, reach out to managers if just in case, or possibly troubleshoot if the machines with us messing up, answer guests and all that stuff. I did a lot of things, uh, and it's funny because I got fired. A setup fired from both. A girl was jealous at the showboat and she just like randomly started like a little back and forth over the freaking walkie talkie. I was asking her a question like as far as the lap thing, and she was like, you gotta wait. She was just rude about it. And cause the TV monitor was over her head, and I was like, you can't. She was like, you gotta wait, and da da da. I got people in front of me, and I was like, well, I was like, I understand that, but like, I was like, the TV monitor is like right above your head. I was like, you just like glance up and look. I wasn't saying it in a mean way. I was like, it's right above your head. Like you just possibly like just glance up like 2.5 seconds, because we had to call it in on a like little walkie-talkie so that we could like tell the people on the flag thing who was out there in the racetrack area, what lap it was so that they know what flag to flag. for the racers. And yeah, she gave me a little attitude over the walkie-talkie. It was just like she threatened to spit on me, and I took my crock off, and I was like, I held it up like I was gonna hit her. But funny thing, like I got in trouble because they was like, "Oh, you was gonna hit her, da da da." And I said, "This girl said she went like she had it ready for me," and I was just like, "What the heck?" Like I'm so confused. Like the girl had the spit ready for me, and I picked up my shoe to defend myself just in case she was gonna do it. Because I said, if you spit on me, I'm gonna slap you with my dang on shoe. Like I have my little crock. I said, you spit on me, this shoe is gonna go right across your face. And she said, so I took my shoe off and I got it ready because she got her spit ready, so I got my shoe ready. And that was that. That was that. Like don't play with me, honey. Like I'm real nice and sweet and quiet, but don't play with me, especially not with no spit. We don't do that over here. Like we get down with our hands from what I was taught. Like all that spitting, weapons and all that stuff. Girl, we don't do that. What you mean? That's why I'm like, I ain't gonna. And it's funny because that just goes to show she was gonna spit on me, and I didn't even think to spit on her back or like caulk up my spit. I just took my shoe, like, girl, I'll knock your head off. Like, don't play with me. But yeah, I ended up getting fired or I was suspended, and then I did end up catching a girl outside one day, and we got into a little scuffle. I was with this girl, and I was like, I saw her walking into like right Walgreens, or it was, I think that was the name of the place. It was, the little store right there down the street from the covenant house, and like she was just yapping off at the mouth. Cause I was like, didn't you say like when you saw me outside? Cause that's what it was. She was threatening that she was gonna beat me up and she was gonna catch me outside and all this other stuff after the whole little hawk spit thing. And I never seen her after that. So, but she was like, running her mouth saying she was gonna do this and that, and da da. And so when I saw her, like I was like, didn't you say you was gonna do this? And she was like, I'm going in here to handle some. And I was like, it's cool. I see you. Because I was going to handle something too. I said, I'm going to go down here to Wells Fargo. When I come back, and I was like, if I see it, then it's going to be up. And lo and behold, when I was coming back down that street, I saw her coming out of the Walgreens or going to her car. And I went up to her. She was in her car, and I think I threw a bottle at her, and she got out. We was going back and forth, and then she hawk spit. She tried to spit on me. I think she tried to. I don't know what it was up for her spitting. I think she hit me because it was officers there too, and I think she either hit me or she tried to spit on me. And all I know is I ran. I went down them stairs, went right around, and I just said, well, "Bow!" and we just started fighting. Like basically, she got beat up. But yeah, and it was like I kind of felt bad. Like I was like, I shouldn't have did it. Like, I should have just let it go. But I was like, bro, you really got me fired. And it was like that was the first time that occurred. Like where I was working or just dealing with jealousy at a job. It's like every job that I had, majority like I was dealing with someone who was jealous of me, and it was because I was doing my job. Like and I was good at it, and it was like they envied me for that. Like Family Dollar, this girl, I remember Tawana was. I asked her to do something. I think I shared this story before. I just never posted it on my YouTube channel. Like I recorded it on my phone and it's in like my Google Photos, but I never shared the story. But I remember asking her if she could ring me up for something, and then she was on the phone, and I told her, I was like, you could take your time because I was indecisive like about something, and then I finally told her I was ready, and she was like, hold on, girl." Like she was talking to the person on the phone. She was like, girl, like hold on because we gotta stop and do whatever she want us to do and all this other stuff." And I was just like, what the heck? Come to find out, it was only because the store manager and the new manager we had held me to like a high pedestal, I guess, because I was basically the only cashier that was there the longest. Quan, he was there, who was also a cashier, but mainly he did like stock in and recover in the store, and basically was the security guard of the store. Me, I was the main one that was always behind the register, so I knew the cash handling and all that stuff. I did a lot of things as far as doing stocks too, um, recovering the store, counting the cigarettes. Like I knew a lot of management stuff because like I was there like for dang near almost a year, and that was when I was like that was in 2020, so I was like 19 around that time. And they were trying to get me to be a manager, but I turned down. They was trying to give me a promotion, and I turned down the position because I was like, which was stupid. Cause I was telling them I'm like, I'm in school, blah blah blah, and I realized I was still getting manager hours. So it was like I received the promotion unknowingly. Either way it go, I received the hours and I received the pay. So it was like I still got promoted either way, even though they did like say like they didn't give me the title because I turned it down. It was like the actions, like I had the title. Like they would call me, and it was because also that too. Like anytime they called me or they needed me, like or an employee to come in, somebody called out. I was the one they called to come in, and I was like, down to do the work. And I remember, like I said, I think I ignored it, and then another time, like her friend Kelly was going back and forth with me about something because she was talking. I think I caught her talking about me to another girl, one of the workers, and I had said something about it because I was like, it wasn't the first time, and I was just fed up with it. I called her out. She was these girls, they was in their 30s, and Kelly, she was, she was a little thick, like thick and tall, but I was. I was about to go toe to toe with her and family dog because I called. I said at this point, I said, girl, let's go. Like I said, come on. And she was like, I'm not about to. She was like, I ain't about to fight you. Like that's high school stuff. This is high school stuff. I said, no, what's high school stuff was you running your mouth about me, and now that I'm calling you out, now you don't want to do nothing. I said it like that was high school stuff. But yeah, I realized back then it was all just to get under my skin, ruin my energy, my positivity, and all that stuff. And Ocean Casino, the girl got me fired. I don't know which one it was that really occurred, but I remember I was coming back from. A girl said that she came back from break or she was still on break or something like that. Like it was a line of people and she wasn't calling nobody. Like she was just standing there. So I was like, you know, I was dealing with a person and I was asking her if she was gonna call the next person and she was like, no, I'm on break. And I was telling her, I was like, well, if you on break, why don't you go, to the back? Why are you in the front? So like, they don't, so the customers know like they not just waiting for no reason. And then on top of that, so I know like I gotta speed up the process, I guess. And she got upset about that. She was like, I don't know who you think you're talking to, da. And I was just like, I didn't even mean it in a bad way. I was just saying, like, girl, like, if you on break, what you doing up here? Go enjoy your break. Go to the back. That's just that. But she didn't take it like that. She got upset. We kind of like went a little tit for tat right there, and then it just died down. And this was funny because we both got hired at the same time. And my grandmother always told me, she said, the first person you meet is always going to be the first person you got a problem with. And it's always been like that. Every person that I was the first person I met was always the main person that I had a problem with, no matter what. No matter what. Or they had a problem with me. Put it like that. We always ended up falling out. And yeah. And it was another situation at the Ocean Casino where I had came in and they had assigned us the computers and all that stuff. And I was just going to the computer I was assigned to, and turns out it was, I guess, a computer that this one girl there like always was on. So and she was on it, and I had like tapped her and told her I was like this computer that they said I was supposed to be on or something like that. Or I think I was already on it, and she was the one that came to me. Yeah, I think that's what it was. She came to me and she was like saying that it was her computer, and I was like, well, this was the one that they assigned me to. So like they had literally a list, like a paper that showed all our names and the computer that we was assigned to, and they said that that was what we had to look at. And she was like, well, this is the computer that I always go to. Like I was like, I don't go off. They don't go off of that or something like that. I was like, look here, girl, I'm just doing what they told me. Like I just got hired. Like I'm just doing what I'm told. Like that's just it. But she made like a whole scene about that, and they the guy who was there, like he had my back about it. He just told her to like I think go to a different computer, and I guess obviously that upset her because she had like she was close friends with the manager. They was locked in, and it was like a lot of posses. Because I remember I was using the bathroom, and this girl had looked under the stall, like this light skinned girl, I forgot her name. But I noticed like she had came in, she didn't use the bathroom, like she was looking under the stall, and something told me like from there like something was up, like she was like being sneaky about something. Come to find out, she went back and told um HR that or the head people, um the supervisors or whatever other department, that I was hiding in the bathroom, or that I would just be that I would hardly be in the front when I was the main one in the dang on front. Like only like what, I even took it upon myself. I remember one time, like it was a few times I had to like walk escort guests to their hotel like room, and then like go to a hotel room as far as like when somebody was booked to one and it was somebody in there. I remember this guy was drunk so bad, like he forgot his room number, and I like escorted him up there. And like something that was I wasn't supposed to do, like that was basically security. But I think like security wasn't around, so I like, you know what, I'm gonna just make sure he gets to his hotel room safely. So I said, let's just go ahead, take this little stroll. I told the lady, like the people in the front, I was like, I'll be back. And like I'm back to, and I think they was looking at me like I was crazy, like girl, what you like you gonna like help him, like girl, just let him go. But like it was the God in me, the goodness in my heart. Like I said, I wanted to make sure he got to his room safely because he was like drunk and out of it. So and then on top of that, I didn't want him to go bothering no other guests, customers, and all that stuff. So I'm like, we're gonna take you upstairs to your bed for the night, okay? So yeah, yeah, that whole situation was crazy, but and I say it was a setup because it was like a movie scene. You know how where a person is like getting fired, and then you got people like eavesdropping on the outside. When I came out, a little short girl, she was dark skinned, always had a little bob cut. I forgot her name. But yeah, she was standing on the outside. She was like a manager. Like she was standing on the outside of the door, and the next thing you know, like, and I say she was standing on the outside door because when I walked out, it was like I said, like in the movie scene, like I walked out and she was like, she just did a 360, like she turned and she was like she went. It was like a guy's office, like right across diagonal from the guy Larry's office, and she like spun over there, and she was like, oh hi, such, I forgot his name. She was like, hi, such and such, and even him, like he gave it like the fact, like his reaction to her gave it away for me, because he was looking at her like hi, like when did you, like what's up, what made you pop right here? Like she was trying to make it seem like she was already having a conversation with him, but I already like the bob, girl, your head, the bob moved. Like I saw your head turn all the way, body and everything. It was like she, it was like your head was still like bobbing, was like the hair was bobbling. So you, yeah, you, it was obvious that you stick and move. But yeah, I took that L, and it's crazy because I had my stuff up there at the Ocean Casino because I had got kicked out of the shelter at the Covenant House for my mouth. A lady, Miss Sam, was basically picking at me. They threw away my bear. I had a human-sized bear that I was gonna save, and my mom was gonna come get it, and they knew that, but they threw it away. And my mom came up there with my caseworker raising, HE double hockey sticks, and she confronted Miss Sam of all people, and you know, Miss Sam was like, and the other guy that was there was acting all scared, and they was like, "Ma'am, you gotta go, like you gotta leave." But my mom, she wasn't really doing nothing. She was like, "I just want to know what happened to the bear. Like, where's the bear?" And they was like, "Ma'am, you gotta go. Like, you can't be in here." Da 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 da. And so the next time, like when I was coming down, I don't know, like Miss Sam, she was always just saying something smart to me for no reason. And that day, I just had enough, and I was just like, I said one thing. I just said, I said, I said you shouldn't be talking to me like this, basically because when I said, because if my mom was here, you wouldn't be talking to me like this, and which was true because when my mom was there, she was acting scared. So it's like when my mom not here, you want to like be talking to me and be disrespectful to me. So that's why I told her. She went. She was like, oh really? She was like, oh watch this. She was like, oh that's a threat. That's like they also watch this. Or I don't think she said that was a threat. Or she just said, I think she did say it was a threat. But I remember she said, oh really? Watch this. And come to find out, she went back and told the people that I threatened her and that I said that I was going to have my mom come up there and beat her up. And I was like, what? I said, excuse me? I said that, first of all, I did not say that. What I said was is what I said. I said you wouldn't be. I said don't talk to me like that because if my mom was standing right here, you would not be talking to me like that. And it wasn't like, oh, like if my mom was here, like you would be talking like you'd be getting beat up. Like no, it was a reference to the other day when my mom came up here and she was confronting you just only with her words, wasn't even attacking you, and you was scared of her. So now you want to be out big and bad with me, somebody who's younger than you and you're twice my age, and you getting all buck. But my mom, she was dang near smaller than me, and you was, and she's your age, around your age, but y'all was telling her to kicking her out. Didn't give her the time of day. Acting scared. Y'all was scared as heck of her. That's what I meant. But yeah, I got kicked out of there. And I remember this one girl. I forgot her name. She was so sweet. I think she was like Spanish. She was Spanish and she had like blonde highlights and she gave me some pink shorts. She know what I'm talking about. She ever see this video? Um, she was like telling me, she was like, just calm down, like just ignore it. But me, like I was fed up. Like I was like, cause it was like I said, this lady was always picking at me, and it was like I just finally like, and it was crazy. Like that's why you gotta be like the Bible tells you, be slow to anger and like quick to hear, or like just walk away. Sometimes turn the other cheek, cause and sometimes you're gonna have to keep turning the other cheek. You're gonna have to turn this cheek, the butt cheek, the other butt cheek. Like you're gonna have to turn every cheek, man. And also be prayed up because the times that I like, you know, gave into people, like when I was at Family Dollar, like all it did was block my blessing. Like I decided to stop going there and stop working there because of that. And it sabotaged myself. Like I sabotaged myself. I allowed other people to get me down and stop my bag. Like I was making bread and I allowed that to, you know, stop my bag. And the same thing with the covenant house. It was like I had a roof over my head, and because I gave into her negativity, and instead of like listening to my friend that was telling me like, girl, just walk away, just leave it alone, don't say nothing, let's just go outside. It I lost my housing and I had to sleep on the street, and that led to me getting robbed, set up. My iPhone was stolen because I saved up all the money. Like at the covenant house, they gave me a check, and that was my fault also because I didn't put the check in my savings. And I was trying to be of good courage and help love thy neighbors and get a hotel for everybody because we was sleeping on the stairwells, we was sleeping in the hotels, like not in the hotel rooms, but like in the like hotel, like where they had to wake us up, like in some hallway basically. We was sleeping and they told us like we had to go. We slept downstairs of like a apartment by like in a stairwell. I slept by myself by a trash chute, and I got a hotel room for all of us one night. Then I was planning on getting a hotel room, like I think for at least 2 days, 3 days, or at least try to get it for a week for all of us so that we had to sleep on the streets. And that was the night that I had got drunk and all that stuff. Got into like a back and forth with some boy I was dealing with, Elijah, and he led me to this girl Raina who was ready to fight, and I wasn't. It was like I thought we was gonna like exchange some words, but when I walked up to her, she just swung on me, and yeah, the two dudes, I forgot the little Caucasian boy name. He was like some new boy, but it was this other boy Jake. He was with us. And it's crazy. I should have known like they wasn't my friends, because the dude that Elijah, he had pushed me on the boardwalk, and it was like any person that sees that a friend like sees a guy putting their hands on a female, they would immediately jump in, like not even jump in and hit him. Like some will do that, but like as far as like just breaking it up and telling him, hey, like you're wrong for that, like don't do that. That automatically should have been a red flag right there, or a green flag, like just depart from them. But I remember when he had pushed me, like I gave Jake my purse like to hold and all that stuff, which was the stupid decision, obviously. But yeah, after that, I yeah, they had once we started. Me and Elijah was walking towards Raina place or whatever, cause he was like she gonna talk to you, da 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 da. Like he had her on the phone, and I'm like, all right, cool, like whatever. Like mind you, I'm drunk, so I'm like just talking, like saying a bunch of stuff, and I remember Jake and the Caucasian boy had walked away, and looking back, or I didn't realize after the fact that they walked away with my stuff. Like I had my like with my book bag, and that's what I had the money in, and my phone also. And yeah, they had, because I was too busy going, like Elijah was leading me to Raina. We was going back and forth arguing, and Jake and them had was like, well, we're about to go this way. We'll like come back and check on you, blah blah blah, while y'all go up there, handle what I gotta handle. Come to find out, yeah, I was fighting the girl, or at least trying to. Like I said, I was intoxicated, I was drunk, and I was trying to like do my big one. But she got me on that one. I got a little hit, and like she felt a little bit of it. But she got me on there because she kept grabbing my hair and slinging me on the ground. That was the main thing. Like she just kept grabbing me. I'm like trying to like go toe to toe with her, and she just kept wow, boom, boom, like literally just grabbing me by my hair. I had braids and just slinging me. It's like she was prepared, like, because I was always play fighting, so I guess Elijah must have told her, like, look, in order to get her, you're gonna have to like grab her by her hair and sling her every time, because that girl, she got like she keep up. So I don't know, but yeah, it was just After that, I had to let that go. I had to take that L. I was mad. I had dark thoughts, and I was gonna do some damage with that, but I didn't. I had called upon God, and I asked Him to rebuke those thoughts out of my head, help me to, forgive them for what they did to me and all that stuff. And I did, even though it was hard. A guy named Calvin, he know. I talked to him about it. A guy named Q, he knew. I even had my caseworker give me a ticket to Atlantic City. Like, I had the ticket. and but I had to come to my senses and like say, like, look, that's not of God. Like, them thoughts that you having, that's the enemy. Like, that's an evil spirit right there, because that's not you. Like, you about to become who they are. Like, you about to allow what they did to you, and you gonna turn around and basically do the same thing. Like, no, that's not you. Stay who you are. Stay true to who you are, and allow God to deal with that. Allow God to deal with them. And though it was hard, I had to allow God to handle it. I don't know how He handled it, if He handled it, or if He's about to handle it. But all I know is I had to forgive Him, and I had to not go through the plan that I had planned. I remember I got kicked out of Sierra house because I was late, and I snuck upstairs because I was like, at least like I'm gonna try to get in. I literally had to climb through the dang fires, climb up the fire escape, and climb in the bathroom window, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I was already like think on like strike 2, 3, and all that stuff. So about coming in late, so I was like, okay, let me just try to like get in there, like, or I think it was like staying out or something like that. All I know is I didn't want to stay out. I was like, it was best for me to get inside and like, tell them like why I was late, then stay out and then come in the morning. But it seemed like either way it went, it was gonna be a lose-lose, because the lady came knocking, banging on the door like, La-Torria, get up, get up, get up, you need to get up and come downstairs. And mind you, I'm just waking up, so I'm like, the heck? Like, she woke me up out of my sleep with that. So I'm like, what the heck? So I go, I'm like getting ready, and I'm going downstairs. Like, I'm like this, like, cause I'm trying to wake up. Like I said, she woke me up, like just like banging on the door, and I was early in the morning. So I'm like listening to what she's saying. She like, you weird, like you snuck like in, like how did you get in last night? Da da da. And I'm just like sitting there like this, and I'm talking to her, telling her basically what I told y'all. Like, I'm like, yeah, like I was calling Miss Melissa, like she wasn't answering the phone. I was ringing the doorbell, nobody was answering the doorbell, so I just took it upon myself to climb through the window. And that window was on the third floor, no, the second floor, but it wasn't easy to get to that that window. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't. I had to stretch my leg like all like it wasn't easy, and then it was very tiny, so I had to slither my body all up in there. Yeah, that jump wasn't easy. Hefe, no, he witnessed the whole thing. Hope he don't, you know, be upset for me mentioning his name, but yeah, I he witnessed it. I had to slither on up in there. Cause he even said, he was like you just can just stay with me, like just come to my place. And I was like no, cause I don't wanna. I think he said either go to his place or he was gonna take me back to my mom's house, like my mom apartment. Cause I think that's where I was coming from, possibly. I can't really remember, but yeah. And as I was sitting there, she was like, well, you sitting here with an attitude. And I was just like, and she was like, so therefore you're just gonna be discharged, like you were so disrespectful, like we help you and provide a roof. And I'm just like, wait a second, just from the whole time I've been staying here, you and Melissa was always telling me, and other faculty members, that I was the main one that was doing what I was supposed to be doing the entire time I was here. Y'all was saying like I was
giving y'all my pay stubs. I was working. I was going to school. I was doing good. I was meeting with Zanaya. I was, you know, coming to like the little after meetings that they would have with each other. If we went out like on a movie thing, like, and y'all was always like giving me like clap, 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 clap. So now all of a sudden it's like I'm giving you an attitude. So I was like, huh, what are you talking about? I said, I'm like, you just woke me up. Like, I don't even have an attitude with you. It's just I'm still trying to wake up. She's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're being discharged. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. I was like, I've been like kicked out so many times of out of places, and it's like, I just, I'm like, you telling me to go? Fine, I'm gonna go. I had called FA. He helped me get all of my stuff up out of there right away, and I took it to my mom's house and I stayed there. And everything was fine there. I feel like I could have stayed there, but I kind of, or I don't even know, people was gang stalking me there. And then the situation happened where I kind of set the Christmas tree on fire. Like, I don't know what came over me. It's like something possessed me. Like, I just lashed out, and I like, it was like some voodoo. Like, I was reading stuff that my mom had around her house, and it was like the enemy was kind of tampering with my mind. Like, I didn't know if it was witchcraft or if it was something good. So all I remember was just lashing out and just tearing it down because she had it tucked like hidden in a tree in a stocking. Like everything else, it was pictures around the tree, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I just was like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm witnessing, but like something just said like burn it, like. So I that's what I did, and I remember the fire department had came out there, and I felt so bad because it was smoke everywhere. I was scared to open the door because it was like It's like I snapped back to reality and realized like, what the heck did I just do? Like, I don't know what. It's like I don't know, like I was possessed. Like I don't know, but after that, um, that's when I think that's when I moved over here. After that, I moved over here, and it was before I went to the Sierra House. When I came from Atlantic City, I had was trying to stay with my mom, or I did, but I don't know, something like happened. She lashed out on me, and I had, or no, I don't think she lashed. I think we got into like a back and forth about something, so I didn't feel comfortable like staying there because I didn't know like if I was gonna like stay there. And then one day she told me like she would leave. That's what it was, because she was saying like, I could stay there, but at some point she was getting ready to move out and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, if you got to move, then I might as well just go on over to Aunt Didi house and just stay there. Like, at least I'll be secure. And that's when I could have possibly stayed there, but my caseworker said that she had got me approved to stay at the Sierra house, and that's when I moved into the Sierra house. I feel like I should have just stayed at my Aunt Didi house, but you live and you learn. That's all I'ma say. And that's when, yeah, after the whole situation at my mom's apartment, I got approved here, and it's crazy because I didn't even really want this apartment. I was basically given an ultimatum, like my Terrence had passed away, and from there I was out of it. Like, if as far as getting like finding a place, I wasn't really focused on that. Like, I was supposed to have been looking for apartments and all that, and I wasn't, because I was grieving. Literally, I would go to work, I would have to step to the bathroom and cry, or I would just start crying and have to run to the bathroom. Like, it was a lot for me to take in. Like, I really had to call Pastor Jeannie to take me to Sparta, and she couldn't even help me because I told her, I said, just take me to the church, and I just ended up falling at the altar crying, like screaming, and just asking God, like, why. I was talking like, why would you take Terrence? I was like, why did you take Michaela? Like, why did you take Bobby? Like, I was just crying. Like, it wasn't in, I remember the pastor saying, Pastor Jeannie, like, she was like, she was like, It was like when I was hearing you cry, it wasn't a regular cry. She said you was crying over multiple people. She said you wasn't just crying over your lover Terrence. She said you was crying over a few, another person too. She said I heard it. She said you were hurting, and I said yeah, yeah. Cause it's like I held so much in. To this day, I held so much in. This like really me finally speaking about it, releasing it on here, and it's like I'm finally telling my story. Cause even when I was telling my mom, she was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me like certain things? Like, why did you wait till like 2024 to tell me this and that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, like, lady? I've always been trying to talk to you, but you always turn attention on you." Or you just overreact, or you cut me off and all this other stuff, or you just get upset. And it's like I couldn't talk to you. When I told you I was pregnant, you kind of got upset and was bringing negative energy. Like, I think she said that she wasn't, like, I don't know, like she was just saying like a lot of stuff. I'm trying to remember, but I just remember telling her, because I remember on the phone, I was on the bus, and I remember saying, like, if that's how you're gonna act, then if I was to have this child, like, you wouldn't be around it. I said, because I refuse to have my child grow up in a toxic environment or go through anything that I went through. And unfortunately, I had an abortion, and it was something that another pain that I held. And it's like I was talking to my cousin Serena, and she was telling me about something about pregnancy, and I was telling her, like, girl, just don't abort the child, because I'm telling you, if you have an abortion, you gonna think that it's yippee ki and it's gonna be all right, and you making like a solid decision for yourself and for the baby, but it's gonna eat you up after, because at the end of the day, it's a life. It's a life. So for anybody out there, like, do not, please, don't ever, don't. If you got, if they really have places like adoptions, a family member, like a church, like, just don't, don't, don't do it. Don't. Like, pray and pray about it. Pray, 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 pray. I can't say it no more. Pray, pray, pray. Like, pray. If you get pregnant and you worried about being a single mom, and that's what it was when I told Terrence that I was pregnant. It was like, over the phone, he was like, well, what you telling me for? Like, you better go tell that dude that you was with that ain't my child, da da da. And I'm like, what dude? Like, what are you? I'm like, first of all, I ain't even had, like, I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, like, this is your child. Like, we was hunching. Okay, we was hunching. All right. And you ain't pull out. Now I was like, you ain't even like, I ain't say all of that on the phone, but that's what was going on in my head. But it was just like, I was like, excuse me, like, what? And come to like later, I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get up. Like, I remember calling him, and I was like, look here, I said, I just need help with the money, and this is it. And he gave me like a little bit of money, and I think I had spent it on like something else, because come to find out I had insurance. And I was like, you know what, I feel like that was wrong. My job, I was only like, what, 18, 19. No, I was 18 when this happened. I was 18 because this happened. I had my abortion, I believe, November 7th of either November 7th or November 11th of 2019. Because I had found out I was pregnant when I took a pregnancy test at Essex County College in the bathroom while I was at work. And I say this because I always regretted it. and I had 2 abortions. And it was like I always be asking God, like, Lord, I want a husband, I want kids, I want a family. And I always said, like, God had already given me that. He blessed me with Terrence, who I could have had a family with. Whether it was like things was bad because he was a drug addict and I was scared. I didn't know how to deal with him or what would happen, what would occur, if he was going to be a good father or not. And like I said, from my past and me growing up in shelters and programs and all that stuff and being like a lonely child and an abandoned child and how detrimental it was for me, I didn't want my child to go through that. Like I'm trying to like, it's the fact that I'm trying to like hold back tears right now, Lord. I'm trying to get it out. Like it's like I really held in so much and I never spoke about it to like only a few people. Miss Erica, she knew about my abortion. I opened up about it to her. My therapist, she knew about Nikayla, and she was the one who got me to stop blaming myself because she asked me, she said, because I was like always telling her about it, the story, and she was like, one day she just got, I guess, fed up, and she was like, La-Torria, like, she said, did you know that that was going to happen to her? And I said, no. And she said, if you knew it was going to happen, would you have done something to stop it? And I said, yes. I would have told her to just stay home with her mom, or I said, I wouldn't have just let her go over there. And she said, and lastly, did you pull the trigger? Like, did you did you cause her death? Like, did you kill her? And I said, no. And she said, then it's not your fault. She said, you need to stop blaming yourself for what you didn't do. And on top of that, that you knew, if you knew that it was gonna happen, you would have stopped it. You would have done everything in your power. You said it yourself. She said it is not your fault. Like it was not your fault at all. And I was only blaming myself because my grandmother, who she's not my blood grandmother, my mom had grew up with a lady named Contessa Collins. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. And she had her mom, Ivy Collins, which is Iris. We call her Grandma Iris. She had said when we was going to a she was taking Serena and Anastasia shopping originally, and she didn't want to take me, and she was going with Fred's sister, which is her Grandma Iris' baby father, which was Contessa Collins, her daughter, dad, his sister. I forgot her name. I forgot that lady name. But yeah, and she was also confused. She was like, "Why you being mean to that girl? Like, why is you?" Because she was asking Iris too. She was like, "Why you being like treating that girl like that?" And she was like, "Man, don't worry about that girl." Like, she was like, because she said it in the car when we was going to, she was taking them to Rainbow, and she was like, man, no, like she was like, I don't care. She was like, because if it wasn't for her, that girl would still be alive. She was talking about Nikayla, and I was like, and I was sitting in the back seat when she said that, and it hurt me. And I think that was the last time I spoke I literally spoke to her. And when my Contessa had kicked me out of her house one day, I came from school and she just was like, she said, you need to pack your stuff. She said, go in the room and pack your stuff. And she was like, I think she told me not to take anything that like she had bought me and all this other stuff. So like, yeah, I remember, and I ended up leaving like a few things mistakenly because she was like kind of rushing me a bit. But I remember, yeah, I came home from school one day and she just told me like, yeah, pack your stuff, get your stuff, only a few things, only take what you need, what you really need, and something like that. And I got in the car and she didn't tell me where I was going. Serena was there in the car too. And I remember I fell asleep in the back seat. I remember opening my eyes and like kind of like peeking, and I remember seeing like Serena staring at me or glancing back at me, and I was trying to like watch in the view because it was like I was trying to like act like I didn't care basically, but I was, a little bit scared. But I was trying to take it like a G, so I just laid down and pretended like I was asleep, and then I ended up actually falling asleep. And when I woke up, I saw my brother, or I saw TJ grandmother, and then I saw my brother, so I was kind of happy. I was like, okay, I'm around family, like I'm around my brother. And but it wasn't like it didn't go the way I expected because like I said, even though I was happy to see them, like when I tell y'all I saw my brother grandmother, it's like I was like, okay. I said, she dropped me off here, I'm safe. I'm like, okay, the Lord must have answered my prayers because I was always writing in my journal. And he definitely did. It's just the enemy, Satan, or like probably some voodoo had been done, witchcraft. It was like a spirit, like a very demonic spirit, and the spirit was kind of on me. It was a spirit of grief, and I was trying to explain it to my grandmother and to my brother, and my brother kind of didn't grasp it at that time. But I was having suicidal thoughts. I would go and I would walk, but I knew I didn't want to go through with the suicidal thoughts, so I would take long, like I would walk to the park like late at night, and I would go sit at the park and I would just talk to God. I would pray, or I would just go sit at the park in general and just watch other people just laughing, having fun, just to put a smile on my face. And then, or I would just go in the backyard and just stare at the tall grass, and just sometimes I had thoughts about walking there and walking through the grass and never coming back. And I had to like, rebuke that or ask God, like, I was just asking God so many questions about like Nikayla. Like why did somebody so precious just have to get killed like that? And why? Why out of all people it had to be her? And I didn't understand. It was funny because that morning when she got killed like at 4 in the morning on Christmas Eve, and I went to church like around six, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Living Water Baptist Church, and it was right across the street from where we had lived, Contessa Collins lived, and I remember I was writing in my journal, and I still have that journal to this day. I was writing in the journal, and all I remember is hearing the preacher say, I want to talk about how, he said, I want to talk about death and how when somebody dies, they always want to blame God. And I looked up at the pastor, and I looked around because I was at the top. They had like the bottom section, and they had the top section. And I was looking, and I'm like, all right, one of these people had to look over my shoulder and reported it back to the pastor, because why would he say that? But I realized God can speak through people. He could speak through me. He could speak through which he was speaking through the pastor to me in that moment, because I was writing in my journal, and like I said, I had questions. I had so many questions that I needed answers to, and it was like at the time I didn't understand it, but now looking back I do. It was him answering me right then and there, because the pastor was like, it's never, I remember him saying, he said it's not never God. He said God don't take nobody. God doesn't kill nobody. God doesn't murder nobody. That's not of God. He said that is the devil. That is the enemy. And now I understand, because God is good. God gives you grace, mercy, love, and all of that stuff, which is what he gave me. In that moment, I had questions, and I was being a little rough in them questions. But God knew I was hurting, and he answered me. He gave me grace and mercy, and he gave me love. I was seeking his face unknowingly, because they say seek his face, and I was seeking his face unknowingly, and he answered while I was sitting there in that church. And like I said, I understand now. They say the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's what happened. The enemy, a guy, the person that killed Michaela, was working for the enemy. And it's funny because he wasn't even originally there, too. She was just there at the wrong place at the wrong time. At her boyfriend's house, who she wanted to see because they was always speaking online only. And oh, I farted. My bad. Excuse me. But yeah, I told this story already on my other YouTube channel. So just make sure y'all go check it out. Yeah, I'ma put it in the comments so that y'all can, or like tag it to this video about that story. But all I know is God is real good. God is real. And it's really hurtful to know that people walk on this earth and they don't believe. And it hurts even more to know that they don't believe that there was a person named Jesus, whose real name is Yahshua, who died on the cross for our sins. And if you call the name Yahshua, he will answer. Indeed, like he will. And he will heal you. It may take some time. And it's crazy because I remember I was always praying for him to restore my family, bring us back together as far as my dad, because my dad wasn't around. And as I got older, when I got older and I came across him, I ran across him when I was like 16 at High Point, and he was all loving and joyful. But when he came up here, unknowingly, unexpectedly, because he was allegedly running from something, he owed somebody money, and my caseworker had kind of went behind my back. I guess she thought she was doing a good thing, a good deed, but she didn't know that me and my dad had already had a conversation that I told him to come during my birthday because I was fasting and praying around that time, and I was trying to get myself right with God, and he came and kind of interrupted that a little bit. So when he had came, I remember praying, like him and my mom got into a scuffle at her apartment. Like she threw a pillow at him and he got all upset about it, and he left. And I told him he could come to my apartment because he was trying to go back to North Carolina. And I feel like I probably should have let him, but I let him come to my apartment. I was staying in the program. I could have got kicked out for having him there. Luckily, that roommate didn't snitch on me like the last one. Well, like the one after that. Because that happened. My dad, he came in 2021. Or, no, I think it was either 2020 or 2021. Like around September 2021. And, the situation with the girl snitching on me when I had brought a guest in the apartment, that happened in 2022, or in May, like around May. So yeah, my dad had came, and I remember I decided to like give him space. I called this guy Ashton, who I was kind of, I think, dealing with at the time. No, I wasn't dealing with him at that time, I think, because I was celibate and all that stuff. I was fasting. But he was like a guy who I had messed around with before that, and he was like a solid friend or whatever at the time. And I remember I called him up and I was like, I need to go to a hotel. And he took me to the most expensive one. I actually spent $600, but it was worth it. It was a bit worth it. I ain't gonna lie. I was in a queen So it was 2 beds in there. I stayed there for 3 days. I spent my birthday in there alone with God. Like I was just with God in God's presence, literally. I went to like a field by the highway. I meditated. Went to the airport and I sat there for a little bit. And that's where I met Thomas. Um, and I was just, yeah, I remember praying about my dad. I was like, Lord, like, you know, if he was not sent by you, because I don't know why, like, I just prayed. I was like, Lord, if he wasn't sent by you, allow him to, like, not be there when I get back to that apartment. And y'all, I kid you not, when I got there, surprisingly, my dad was gone. And I didn't take heed to that. And I said I didn't take heed to that because y'all gonna have to go on my other channel as well to see that. It was a live video about that where my dad had like this a spirit of unforgiveness or guilt and regret for abandoning me, and he felt like in his heart that I didn't love him and all this extra stuff. But it was crazy. Cause I'm like, okay, like maybe like did my roommate say something to him, like, or like he felt like uncomfortable being here because of her, like being in like a apartment and like with another like a younger lady, and he didn't like wanna. Cause my roommate, I know like sometimes she probably like walked around in like shorts and all that stuff, or like I don't think she ever walked around in underwear. Probably. I don't know, but I didn't know what occurred. So I was like, maybe, I'm like, maybe I don't think so. So I went and I found where he was at. He went back to my mom's apartment. I remember something occurred there where I was trying to like get him to eat healthy and all that stuff. And he was like, not really taking it serious. And he lashed out on me and he was like, you are not my daughter. He was like, don't put your effing hands on me. Like, this happened in Garden State Spiders. They probably, like, they ever, like, released the footage or, like, the camera on that day. Like, we was literally in the hallway when that happened. And I'm, like, trying to, like, calm him down and pull him back in. I'm like, Dad, like, I ain't mean to hit you. And he was just, like, going off on me. And next thing you know, he finally, like, relaxed and chilled. After that, my mom caseworker was like, yeah, like he gotta go back down south. Like he doing too much in your apartment, in your building, and you lose your housing. That's what the caseworker was telling my mom. Cause I was like, I'ma just stay out of it. Cause I was in school, I was in college, and it was like I was the mom and they were the kids. Cause I was like trying to be the middleman, but it was a lot. And like fast forward, my dad when they sent him back to North Carolina. Like I said, that was back in 2021. Fast forward to 2024. I went down south to see him, and everything was good as far as like I was originally going to see my grandmother, cause like to lay her to rest, cause she had passed away, but I didn't even get to make it to the funeral because the person they didn't. When I got to Raleigh, nobody was answering the phone. Like as far as at first, like my dad, then he finally answered, and I told him like I was there, and I told him like my mom was like, well, he didn't know that you was coming. And I was like, he did. I said it's pictures and videos. I got a screenshot that show I sent him my ticket. I sent him the ticket, and I told him I was coming. And then on top of that, I had my brother family members who always said like, because I was always contemplating like about going down there. Like I'll be like, all right, y'all, I'm coming this day, and then I'll like be like, I'll later not come, or I'll be like, I'm coming soon, and then so after they was just like, look, Tori, when you just touch down, just call us. Like that's just it. So to me, I was thinking like, all right, once I got there, I was like, I'ma just, and I was just so focused like on my grandmother's funeral and like school that I didn't really reach out to anybody like until I actually got to Raleigh. And that was my mistake. But like I said, from what they was telling me when I was up here, like girl, like all you gotta do is just call us, let us know. Especially my uncle Buki, he was like, well, just whenever you get down here, just hit me up. He was like, and I'll come pick you up from the station. So I thought, this what it was, like he was gonna stand on that, but everybody was saying that they had car issues and all this other stuff. Funny thing, when I went to their houses, their cars was up and running. They was able to drive from here to there and all everywhere. I feel that sound like Dr. Seuss, but I didn't pay it no mind. I just was like, you know what, I'm just see like I didn't even know what to say. I just left it alone. I didn't even mention it. And I remember I asked my grandmother, my grandmother, TJ grandmother, to if she could take me to my friend Michaela's grave site, and she said that she needed gas, and I had $20. My last $20 I was willing to give her for gas money to take me there. Literally, my last $20. Literally, I had found $20 like in a no, that wasn't $20. A guy, yeah, that was a $20 I found in a cab or whatever, and I was holding on to that, and I was gonna use it to take my mom ice skating because they had a little ice skating thing that we used to go to in Greensboro. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just use it. Like if you need it, if that's gonna like get you to take me there. But she was like, no. She was like, nah, I'm not gonna take your money. Like she was like, nah, just keep it. She was like, I'm waiting for somebody to send me some money now, or like such and such, like gas or something like that. And she was like, and that's just that. Come to find out, she never took me there. She ended up driving to what was that? Winston Salem to go see a Gile. Then we went back to her place to drop some stuff off or get some stuff, and then we went to High Point to Uncle Donnie's house, and then we went back to Greensboro to Gma's house, and I was just like, and the whole time I ain't say nothing. I just took it for what it was. Looking back, I kind of did want to just like leave and just go to her gravesite myself. But I kind of just didn't want to go by myself because I knew that there was a possibility that I would break down, and I wanted somebody there to like be hugging me or holding me. And I forgot that God can comfort you and hold you and embrace you, because I also shared a story on here, this channel, where it's called Wind of Restoration, where I felt the presence. Like I literally felt the press on the back of my head, and I felt like somebody was standing behind me, hugging me, like holding me as I was crying and releasing so much. So even if I was to like leave and went to her gravesite, I would have been fine, because God would have been with me. Yahshua would have been with me in the spirit. Even if I would have started crying, brawling out, and all that stuff. Because I never got the chance to go to her funeral, and it was like this girl Miaja had made a post or whatever that I saw that kind of like also made me play the part in my trauma and blaming myself. Because she was like, she made a post and she said, I just think it's funny how the people that was there didn't show up to her funeral. And it was like, I didn't know if she was talking about me or if she was talking about the people who were actually there in the house that witnessed what happened to Michaela and they didn't go. But looking back, it was a traumatic situation for people that was there that actually witnessed her brains like being splattered. So, and mind you, I was like kind of fearful of going to the funeral because I didn't know how people would react. So obviously they was probably thinking the same thing. Like we traumatized, but we don't know if we walk up in that funeral trying to like, you know, say our piece and like, say their apologies and all that, and somebody feel like, oh, it's y'all fault, like y'all did da. Because yeah, like I didn't know. And then on top of that, I wasn't there like physically, but for them, the people, like I said, that was actually there at the house, looking back, because I was kind of upset. I was like, so like y'all didn't like try to stop it or nothing, like. And it's like, I guess like the situation, it happened too fast to where like they were kids, like we were all kids. They was like 16, 15, and it just like happened so fast. And they said like they thought the guy was just their, like the boy dad was just joking, but he just randomly pulled out a gun and just shot her. And it was like, I wanted to go to her funeral, but I didn't even have the guts at the time. I didn't have the guts to ask my aunt, because I was put on punishment. Like my aunt put me on punishment. So I didn't think, I was like, if I even ask her, can I go to her funeral? She's probably not even gonna take me. So it's probably no point in me even asking. I remember my aunt, she took me down to the police station, like as if she wanted them to lock me up. Cause the police officer, she was like, so y'all gonna take her in? Like y'all gonna, like, what y'all gonna do? Like, cause you know, if y'all need her to stay here, you know, I'll leave her here with y'all. And da da da. Like I don't know, if she was just trying to scare me or whatnot. But I remember the officer saying like, ma'am, like she's a victim. Like she, like, I remember the officer saying like, she's like, she's not in trouble. Like we're just getting her statement. She was like, she's like, basically that's what the like officer was saying. Like she's a victim. Like this girl is traumatized about her friend getting killed, and like sitting here dang near blaming herself, and you're placing like fear in this girl's heart. But yeah, like I know, like, and it's funny because I remember I was sitting at the public library in Greensboro, while I was in North Carolina, and I was painting this ornament for Nikayla that I planned to take to her gravesite, and that's why I asked my brother grandmother to take me, and but her, I think her burial was located in, I think, High Point. It was, yeah, it was located in High Point, and I was planning on taking the ornament. I still had the picture of the ornament that I had colored, and as I was coloring it, I was crying. I was crying, and I remember a guy named Walt. I think his name. He said his name was Walter, but they call him Walt. Um, and I remember he like came up to me. He was like, yeah, I saw you, you know, over there. Like you looked down, like a little sad and all that stuff. And I was like, you know, I told him what was going on. I was like, oh, I was just like, honestly, I was crying. Like I was thinking about my friend, and like I was coloring, and I was crying because I never healed from it. Like, yes, I stopped blaming myself for her death when the whole therapist said what she said, but because I never, you know, got to fully, like, I always regretted not speaking up to my aunt, or like basically defending myself against my aunt, and like saying like, look, I want to go to my friend's funeral, can you take me? Because I was thinking about even sneaking out the house just to go to Nikayla's funeral, but at the same time I also didn't, because I was like, I don't know if I go there and people there are angry and they turn their anger on me or try to harm me. So, and I didn't know also if that was the reason why my aunt had told me that day to like leave, because I remember she said that Nikayla's mom came looking for her items or something like that, and I was like, she didn't have no items with me. She took everything, you know, to their house. So, but I wasn't there when her mom had showed up. I was, funny thing, Tessa had took me, Serena, and Anastasia to Grandma Ira's house. Like, probably as if she already knew, like, the lady was coming. I don't know. But all I know is if I would have seen, or like, it probably would have made it way worse. Like, because I always talked about it, like, how I never looked Michaela's mom in her face, and to this day, we always talk like over the messenger, and she always told me not to blame myself for the death of her daughter because it wasn't my fault. But as I said, I was always blaming myself because I heard someone say that it was my fault, and I realized it wasn't my fault. All I was trying to be a good friend and let her go see her little boyfriend for the first time because he lived right up. And I told her, I said, look here, girl, like if you need anything, like I said, I shared the whole story. Y'all could go watch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. But all I know is God really been by my side, and He sent some really good people around me to protect me and comfort me through it, through all of my pain. Even the times where I just didn't talk about it, but a person could tell and they stayed by my side. I really thank them. And I will say a person that unknowingly kind of been there for me is Arnell Green. Kind of brought me back to reality. Told me like, one day he was like, don't be trying to like be cute, like be warm. Like it was cold outside, and I was like, you think this outfit look funny? And he was like, don't be trying to be cute, like wear what make you warm. And I remember like he'll just always be coming over and just chilling with me. And he was telling me today, he was like, cause I told him I was like, I don't smoke weed no more. He like, weed is not the problem, like da 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 da. And I'm just like, yeah, but like God kind of like spoke to me through a man, like, and he told me like that I was smoking marijuana and people were smoking cigarettes because it said it was a Christian and all that stuff. And I did pray in church, like, Lord, speak to me and all these other people. So I don't know. But another person, Miss Wadida, my CASA worker, she's been very solid. Antoinette from the Apostle House, who I mentioned earlier. She said the young one because it was two of them. It was the older one and a young one, the skinny one. She knows who I'm talking about. Miss Erica, she played a very huge part. Miss Crabtree, my favorite teacher, English teacher, or my favorite teacher in general. I remember one time I made her cry. I felt so bad. I don't think I made her cry. I think she was just having a bad day already. And I was like passing out candy, like, just being to her. And she was like, can you please stop passing out candy, like while I'm trying to read? And I was like, it's just candy. And she was like, it's not about the candy, La-Torria. And I remember looking at my friend or this boy Raekwon, and you know how like when you look at that one friend and y'all just laugh at each other, like just like you just look at each other. Cause I looked, cause he was the one I was passing it to, and I just looked, and he was just like I think he made a face, and I just laughed, like I just busted out laughing, and she walked out the classroom, and I was like, bro, and it was like, bro, you made her cry, and I was like, bro, I didn't mean to, like I was like, I think he made me laugh, but Miss Crabtree, like she was always like my favorite teacher, and I do apologize for making her cry because I really didn't mean to. Like God knows, she was literally my favorite teacher. Like I put the name Tootie Booty up on Quizlet, and if any other teacher would have probably took it down. She was just like rocking with it. She was like Tootie Booty, Tootie Booty. Like every time she saw me, she was like Tootie Booty. She was like, hi Tootie Booty. Like she was just cool like that. Like she was very cool. And I always said like, look, when she got married, and I was like whoever married her better treat her good because she was a very, 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 very good teacher, very good woman. Um, yeah, Miss Collier, she was a nice lady. Mr. Parker, my little vocal teacher. Probably need to find him. I thought about finding him because he would be very, very proud to hear me sing now. If he hit a little soprano, I'm a little soprano. You know, I should sing a little something for him if he ever see this. But I got other videos that he could watch that I post up. Cause everyone falls in love sometimes. Sometimes it's wrong. No, I'm just playing. That ain't for real. But yeah, if he go look at my videos, I think he'll be able to he'll be proud. I know I have youth council. They gave me the opportunity to speak up and out for people. And that's my little best friend in the back. Cause I'm celibate. My bad. Anyway, scratch that. Who else do I need to thank? Actually, I had like cards. But off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Miss Sister Sylvia, I have her to thank. They gave us like when I graduated from high school, they had like a little ceremony for like the graduates and a little Thanksgiving dinner where they helped serve food. I helped serve the food and we sat down and ate the food all together. Did a little coat drive and I ran across my aunt Shell. She was like, girl, what you doing over here? And I'm like, I'm helping out. I was like, you can take some coats if you need it. My aunt Didi, I thank her for providing a roof over my head. You know, when my mom reached out, even though her and my mom got their issues, I always told my mom, I was like, look here, I can't never be mad at that lady because when you reached out to her and you asked her if I could stay at her place, she said yes. She did not turn me away. So I definitely thank her for that. I thank my Pacers coach, my Tanea, cause girl, the Pacers coach I had after you, honey, I'm so sorry. I took you for granted a little bit unknowingly. I'm so sorry. I was being very immature and irresponsible around that time. And you was putting me on game. So Tanea Bryant is her name. Y'all treat her well. All right, anybody that come across her, y'all better treat her well, cause she's a real one. She's a real one. God bless her tremendously wherever she is. Cause she was always on it, like helping me fill out my FAFSA forms. I think she was the one that got me into NJ Scholars, NJ Films, and all that stuff. Unfortunately, Tanea, they Rutgers done kicked me out. It's some things that happened with that. Oh my goodness. Honey child. Took classes. I was submitting assignments. Wasn't even getting graded for the assignments. My teacher, my lit a social protest teacher, the guy, he accused me of made a police report about me because I made a comment about God in his class when he was the one who brought up the conversation anyway. Because he said that they was building this tower in Babylon or something like that to see God, and he was like, he made a comment after that, and he was like, either way it go, like I just feel like it's. He was talking about the story, but then he said I personally, like him personally, he said I personally feel like, quoting him, he felt like that cause I ain't about to say it. He said that he felt like he didn't understand why so many people, if if there was a God, then why he can't just take everybody up with him into heaven? Why he gotta pick and choose this person and that person? And I feel like it was a dig at me, low key, like spiritually. Like he already knew then and other people that God had chosen me, and it was a dig at me. But because I wasn't here with God and what was around, we don't really, when they say if it's not, we don't wrestle against flesh and flesh is a spirit. I feel like that's what it was. It was a spirit for real. Because all I did was I raised my hand in response to that. I said I don't think it's because God doesn't want, and I changed it because I saw there was other religions, people that were Muslim, and I didn't want to offend them, so I changed it. I said I don't think it's because God doesn't want everybody like to come. I said he does. I said it's like this. I said, and then I changed it. Like I said, I saw other religions. I didn't want to offend nobody. I said it's like this. When you have your own apartment, and it's like you want to be friendly with everybody. You want to, invite everyone in and show them like, I finally got my place. So girl, you could come over. Guy, you could come over if you need a place to stay. Like you sleeping on the street, you can come on over. I'll cook you a hot meal. And then you invite them over and they just mistreat your home. Or when you was a kid, I said it's like your place or like your friend group as well. I said it's like your friend group. It's like you want to be friends with everybody. When you was a kid, you thought life was sunshine and rainbows and everybody was goody two shoes just like you. But as you got older, you saw that not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody is kind hearted. Not everybody is giving. Not everybody is loving. You have some people who are okay with killing and stealing and robbing and doing wrong to people. But it's like, and it's like you want to like see the good in them, but unfortunately you can't because you got to exclude yourself. And it's like your friend group, when you have a friend group, it's like this your tight circle. Your friend group is people that you expect to trust, people that you expect to like, okay, if I bring you around me, I expect you not to backstab me. I expect you not to steal from me. I expect you not to lie to me. I expect you to love me and like, honor me and be, protective of me because that's how I'm gonna ride for you. And I said that's basically how God feels. Like he wants to take everybody up to heaven with him, but unfortunately, hello, Satan, Lucifer. he he had to get kicked out of heaven because he disrespected God's house. He disrespected God's home. And just like how y'all would treat anybody, like you give them chance after chance after chance, and then they disrespect constantly going up against you. It's like at some point you gotta like. It doesn't mean you a bad person. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means like dang, like I have to force you out. I have to kick you out because you're gonna keep disrespecting me. You're gonna keep disobeying me. You're gonna keep doing me wrong. And all I'm trying to do is love you. And that's how I didn't say that whole thing, but that's what I'm saying now. It's like God loves all of his children. He loves us dearly. Dearly he loves us. But you won't see that unless you follow his commandments. You have to follow and be true to his commandments, like literally. Like you will see his goodness and his grace. Or not even that, like just call upon his name, like his son, Yahshua. Or just say the Lord. Just say Lord. Lord, help me. Like I'm telling you, he will come through each and every time because he did it for me. He did it for me the other day when I was at Section 8. I think I already shared this story on the last live. Like anytime I call upon his name and they say he is an on time God, But you can't, and that's another thing, you can't expect him to answer right away, because sometimes he can't give you what you're asking right away. It's basically, prime example was like when I was praying or writing in my journal about something, and the pastor, he responded, God responded to me through the pastor, and I looked, but like when he said what he said, I was like, man, that pastor don't know what he talking about. So it was like sometimes God speaks to us and we just be ignorant, and it's not purposely, it's just unknowingly, because we don't have that wisdom, we don't have that knowledge and that connection. Because at that time, yes, I always spoke to God, but I didn't read my Bible. And now I always knew God was real and all this other stuff. I always believed in Jesus, who I learned whose real name is Yahshua, but I wasn't always into my Bible. And it's like now I'm trying to remember scriptures like Psalms 23 and our Father, our Father who art in heaven. That one, I just finally learned that one. um so yeah, and it's like I'm starting to learn. But it's really important that you read your Bible and read the King James Version. The Old Testament. Get into the Old Testament, the King James Version. Look up the Book of Enoch. And know that nobody is a Jezebel. I don't like the Jezebel thing. Nobody's a Jezebel. You just unfortunately came across a lot of the wrong guys. But one day God will send you the right guy. You just gotta pray. And when you pray, you have to position yourself to be ready. That means you can't be asking for a man and your house dirty. You can't be asking for a man and you don't know how to cook. You can't be asking for a man and you be physical and all that stuff. You don't know how to communicate. But when you ask, you gotta. That's why I say you can't ask God. God will give you something when you're ready. Because it was like I was asking for certain things and I realized like I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. But I'm ready for it now. I'm ready to receive it, and I'm ready to give it my all. Whatever it is, whatever God has for me, I'm ready to give it my all and be a good, righteous, loving woman, the person who God created me to be. And I always said that. I said, Lord, anytime I go astray, reel me back in. Help me not to fall victim to society. And if I do, snap your finger, bring me back to reality, and help me be and become the person that you created me to be, and not who I created myself to be or my environment created me to be, or the things I see created me to be. Help me to become the person that you truly created me to be. Tremendously. Please. Say that to him. And also another strong prayer to pray. Ask God to remove and deliver you from the hands of your knowing and unknowing enemy. And I'm telling you, don't go against it, don't fight it. Because it could be your sister, it could be your brother that he removed, it could be anybody. It could be your mom, it could be your dad. It could literally be anybody. And like Lauren Hill said, she said, it could be even you sometimes. It could be you. But all I know is trust in God and have faith in God with everything that you do. Literally, seriously. And He got you. On that note, I'm gonna end this live. And y'all, please test the spirit. He don't tell y'all to test the spirit for no reason. Test the spirit. That spirit is Him. Get to know Him. You want to get to know other people, get to know Him, because He's real. And I'm glad that I did. Got to know Him very well. And He's in my presence for real. All around me. So I have nothing to fear. And on that note, I will close this. And I ask y'all to be safe, stay prayed up, and please believe in God and His Son Yahshua. Please. But you see, any name I say, I always call on Jesus. And that's another thing. If you get a little confused, start little. Because God, as long as you referring, you can say Jesus, Yahshua, the Lord. As long as you referring to His Son, and you ain't blasphemy, calling Him like anything disrespectful, one of those three names, Holy Spirit, 4, and God, 5, who is our Father, Yahweh, God, 6, 7. That's it. And if you want, call on your angels, His angels, and they got you. I experienced some angels myself down there. And yeah, they have been a blessing. And I thank them tremendously. And on that note, I end this. I love y'all. And just remember to keep the peace. This world can be very peaceful, but it starts with the people. Y'all can't say like, oh, I want the world to be a better place. I want the killings and the robbings to stop, but it starts with you. Say hi to your neighbor. Pray for your neighbor. Don't judge your neighbor just because they look good, they dress good. You never know what they're going through. Even if it's the opposite, they dressing down, bummy. They could be the richest person. They just probably don't care about what they put on. Don't judge a person. And most importantly, stay in your lane. Focus on yourself and where God is taking you. Don't be trying to do voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft on nobody, destiny swap. Wait and see what God has for you. And then on top of that, don't do that to especially somebody that's close to you. Because you never know if God is going to bless that person, if that person is going to take you with them. But because of what you did behind closed doors to them, now you can't go with them. Because a lot of people can't go with me where God's about to take me. Because of the things that they did behind my back, and God saw it. Now on that note, I will end this live. Y'all be peaceful, and I love y'all, and see y'all next time.